Where have you found the balance to be? You were talking about being right-brained and left-brained and being a business person and also a creative.
Uh-huh.
Where do you find that that's come from? Because I know you said, well, you delved into commercial real estate or real estate, but not everybody has that ability or access to capital to do that.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, like if you found a really, really good deal that makes economic sense, the money finds you. Believe it or not. In real estate, not in film. In film, it's the opposite.
Interesting.
But
You have to find the money first?
Yeah, that like here's a property, here's the rents, here's where it's selling in the neighborhood, da 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 da. We can paint it up, put in some gardening, da 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 da. You know, here's the numbers, and it makes sense.
Interesting. Whereas it's the reverse for a film.
Yeah, particularly to do anything original in film.
So you have to find them.
It's almost impossible. Not quite impossible, but almost impossible. That's the biggest battle with independent film.
Right. So it's not, hey, this is a great story. This is going to touch a lot of people. It's where do we have a group of investors that want to make this? And then you find the script first. So are you pooling together a bunch of people that...
Well, it works different ways. I mean, basically, we kind of shot this film with just, it was a minuscule budget for what we were attempting. And we shot it with half of that. And then it took us over the next year to scrape the rest of it together. Oh. Right now, I'm in my own pocket, helping to finish the film.
Sure. You crowdfunded?
Pardon me?
You crowdfunded?
Mm-hmm. I crowdfunded Forbidden Zone 2's development. Not enough to get the film shot, but enough to get a professional budget, professional breakdown, what they call previs, you know, get all the art designs done. So I've got this package, and the film that I just did, Hipsters, Gangsters, Aliens, and Geeks, is helping fund the rest of Forbidden Zone 2, which I'll do next.
Ah, okay. Okay. And did you think about crowdfunding for the Hipsters one?
No, it was a fabulous producer that I work with from the wine world, kind of like brought it to the table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand that Vern Troyer's last role.
This was his last
Hipsters,
role.
Gangs. Okay. And so you talk about how you were able to cast him in the film and...
Well, someone got him the script, and he actually, one of our leads is for a little person. And he wanted that role. And I admired his talent so much, but I didn't feel that he was physically strong enough or emotionally strong enough. I'll be honest. But anyway, he was a prince to work with when we did work together, and couldn't have been more professional and a great comedian. And the person that I ultimately cast for the role hit it out of the park.
Why are you attracted to absurdity?
Huh. I don't know if I can answer that. It's just like why do you like chocolate? Why do you like vanilla? I like, well, first of all, life is absurd. And one of the ways we can look at life is that things can be absurd at times. And that's a big part of my art, is anything written by Richard Elfman is going to be absurd. You can count on that.
Was there a moment when you saw that, you know, the famous saying that truth is stranger than fiction?
My brother Danny Elfman had no musical training. He had no particular musical interest growing up. No big record collection, didn't go to concerts, no guitar, whatever. And I think we got him guitar when he was 15, 16. And I don't know if you saw Sweet and Low. It was based on Django Reinhardt, one of the world's most famous jazz guitarists from the 30s and the 40s. A month later, Danny could pick out every note of a Django solo. Not with the tonality, but he could hit every note. And then we got him a violin, and a month later, he could do the Stepan Grappelli violin accompaniment. No training at all.
Like a musical savant.
Yeah. And for me, with Afro-Latin percussion, same thing. It just came to me. And I mean, I'd be with a few years later, I'm the only white guy, and I have full lips and really kinky hair. And then someone would say like, he part Cuban or something like that, just to not hurt feelings. When I stopped, no, the solo goes like this. And I didn't say anything. I just kind of, yeah.
Did one of your parents have that ability where they could just, they could adapt to things without?
My father played a little bit of jazz trumpet before the war, but I wouldn't say he was a virtuoso. He just helped put himself through college like that. And no, I don't know where that came from. And for me, just percussion, from Danny, any instrument he'd pick up, he can play.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
You said your mom wrote after 50, like 16 books or something?
Published 16 novels.
Right. I mean, that's, where did that aptitude come from? Did she?
That surprised us. We didn't know she had it. Just, it's just a pleasant surprise.
I wonder if that's like a magical element, you're talking about.
I mean, I miss her too. She worked for me with my media company doing theater reviews and literary reviews. She interviewed Salman Rushdie and all these interesting authors. But occasionally I'd have some question or problem. I'd call her in the middle of the night. Like, hey, Mom, like in the second act, I've got like, and she'd bang. So I don't have that anymore.
Yeah. But it sounds like then you had parents that picked up certain things naturally, and maybe the two of you saw that.
Well, she was an English teacher for 25 years and read voraciously, which is something I recommend to people.
Do you have a favorite author?
God, it sounds corny, but Mark Twain maybe. I like the humor. Ray Bradbury. God, Stephen King at times.
I was listening to some interviews with William Gibson. He was sort of the writer that coined the term, cyberpunk from some of his books. And he has a great quote that I saw people had translated into numerous languages, and it was, before you diagnose yourself as depressed, make sure that you're not surrounded by assholes. I thought that was great. But you could take it down a few notches and soften it up a bit and say, well, before you say that you're creatively blocked, make sure you're around people that are encouraging your art. I don't know.
F. Scott Fitzgerald,
Okay.
Raymond Chandler.
Yeah.
You can't really understand Los Angeles and Hollywood unless you've read Raymond Chandler. No, but I surround myself with wonderful people. I don't have any assholes in my universe.
But not even just, then I'm using that term.
That don't end up in the swimming pool.
Well, okay, right. Or with a young starlet on your arm and you push them in. Yeah. But
Threw them in.
Okay. Yeah. But it was all in good fun.
It was a great visual.
Yeah, a couple glasses of red wine, everybody's having steaks.
If you could have seen him struggling out of the pool in a wet tuxedo, he didn't like the way he looked. Okay, Elfo.
But
calm down.
No. I like it. I like to hear the story. I'm just wondering, not so much assholes in your life, but just people that encourage you. There can be people that aren't assholes in your life, but maybe they don't encourage you. So if we took that quote and said, well, before you think that you're blocked creatively, make sure that you have people that encourage you.
Well, I'm blessed with my wife. I work with my wife. She actually choreographed the cabaret numbers in the film and did 4 different acting parts in it. You can't recognize her one to the other. She's been a huge encouragement, and my sons, my brother Danny, his wife Bridget Fonda. I get amazing encouragement, and my parents encouraged me after they got over me dropping out of college.
You were there for a year. Was it UC Berkeley or where?
No. I was. I had a high test scores, terrible grades. They took me into Cal State. I lasted a semester and a half. Dropped out, and then I ended up opening clothing stores, one adjacent UC Berkeley, one adjacent UC Santa Barbara. So I didn't go to college, but I clothed those who did. And when I told my parents, who were the first generation after 5,000 years of Jews to make it through college, that I'm dropping out, if I told them I was an axe murderer, I'm going to be in jail for life, but I'm taking a college correspondence course, would have been the better news that I'm dropping out.
Sure.
And it wasn't until I was in a hit show in Paris 2 years later that Peter Brook from the Royal Shakespeare Company is our executive producer. My parents come over, they meet him. Then we're at Café du Majo, and James Baldwin comes to the table, big fan of the show. Then it was okay for my parents that I dropped out of college.